Hello everyone, this is Old School from whatthebuck.net. Sorry for my tardiness on this video, and it's going to be a combined video. I was so disgusted after the Chargers loss. I was incapable of putting together a review video, which is embarrassing in and of itself. But that combined with the Christmas holidays had me out of circulation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a combined review of the Chargers debacle and then a mild preview for the Raiders. But I think you'll understand what I'm saying when I say mild preview for the Raiders once I get into that topic. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to the YouTube channel. Hopefully, if you enjoy what you see here, you can rate it over on the corner and let me know what you think. Hit me up with comments as well. I want to remind folks that we do a full show on the Buccaneers and Tampa Bay area sports in general at whatthebuck.net on Mondays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. And we will continue to do that throughout the offseason again this year, even with the storm dropping off the face of the earth with the rest of the Arena Football League. So, coming into the Chargers game, Bucs had a chance to control their own destiny, even though we'd had a two-game slide against Carolina and Atlanta. Came into this game, we knew what we needed to do. The Chargers were struggling. They were scratching and clawing for their playoff life. They needed to get a win and then have some help, and then they could actually control their destiny with their matchup against Denver. The Chargers had come in limping, not nearly the offensive juggernaut that they had been. Phillip Rivers had been strong, but our game plan was pretty much the same it's been all year. We had to stop the run. They still have a very powerful backfield in LaDainian Tomlinson and Darren Sproles. We had to stop that running game. We were incapable of doing that. LaDainian still put up 90 yards. Now, they didn't run all over us necessarily, but they ran well enough in combination with our complete inability to cover anyone in the passing game to cause a serious problem. Now, the second key to the game that we had was to force Rivers to commit turnovers, to make mistakes the same way we had other quarterbacks throughout the year. Our turnover margin or ratio was, we had a +7 coming into this, and the Chargers had a -1, and we were incapable of generating any turnovers at all for our offense. Quite the contrary. In fact, Phillip Rivers walked up and down the field on us pretty much all day long. I happen to think a lot of that has to do with the fact that Jermaine Phillips is out. I think if anyone wondered how important this guy was to our defense this year, has certainly proven the fact that we need to sign his ass and get him back into this camp. Now, in Buckland, there's been a lot of news, obviously, with Monty Kiffin deciding he's going to go to Tennessee to coach with his son. There was a lot of concern and confusion about what was going to happen. The defense has kind of been MIA ever since that announcement became public and official. The Bucs finally stepped up and named Raheem Morris, the current secondary coach, to D.C. for next year, which I think was a great move. I think there are some coaches that are on the staff now that are going to be a little bit pissed about that, Larry Coyer specifically, and we may see a change, especially if Rod Marinelli gets the axe in Detroit. He may come back down here. I don't know. There's a lot of speculation there. But, Coyer's doing a fine job. Problem is we've had a lot of injuries on that defensive line, and when they are in there, they're not getting the job done. Jovan Hay called into our show Monday night, one of our defensive tackles. I asked him point blank, did the Monty Kiffin decision make any sort of an impact on how the defensive line was handling things and how the defense in general was performing? And he said, no, that's a cop-out. The defense just isn't getting the job done. They're professionals. They're paid to perform, and right now they're not performing. And that's, I think it's pretty accurate. I don't think Jovan's necessarily lying. He's certainly not going to come out and go, well, yeah, we're sloughing off because Monty's gone. But at the same time, he realizes that the onus is on them to perform. Now, Raheem has a great relationship with P-Buck and with Jermaine Phillips, and hopefully that will shore up that secondary. And hopefully in the offseason we can get Savvy some more education, because P-Buck was absolutely drifting back, trying to protect himself on the top side, leaving receivers open all day long. And Phillip Rivers took advantage of it. The guy's a heck of a quarterback. He came in with a great rating, and he did what he does and ate us up. And Antonio Gates ate us up. We were supposed to let it fly on the offensive side of the ball, but our offensive line has become MIA. We love our offensive line. We got some terrific talent on there with Davin Joseph, Aaron Sears, Donald Penn, Jeff Fain, Jeremy Trueblood. But right now, not just the last 2 games, the last 5 or 6 games, they have been absolutely MIA. Giving up sacks, not opening any holes for the running game. I don't know what's going on, whether they're wearing down, what's happening in general, but we cannot move the ball. We can't generate any authority on the offensive line. We are losing the battle in the trenches on both sides of the ball, and for that reason we don't deserve to win. Even games that we're in, like this game, we were in this game until the pick 6, which hit Ike Hilliard in the shoulder, bounced into the hands of a cornerback, takes us to the house for a pick 6. We're down 1 touchdown. Atlanta, we get them to overtime. That's a game we absolutely should have won, in my opinion. We didn't. Atlanta got the job done, right? No discredit to them. The Panthers game, even though they put 300 yards on us on the ground, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, it's a 1-touchdown game. Right, so this is a team that has somehow, despite their own inadequacies and screw-ups, has been in each of these games and managed to lose them, and that's not what championship teams do. Now, we're left in a situation where we no longer control our destiny. We have to win against the Raiders, which you would have thought coming in would be simple to do, but the Texans went and got their ass handed to them by the Raiders. But even if we win, we've got to do this. we got to root for the Eagles, which hurts for any Bucs fan. So they flexed that game to a 4 o'clock game, so us Bucs fans will go to the Bucs game. Hopefully we'll get part one of this necessity done by taking advantage of the Raiders and getting a win in Raymond James. Hopefully, trying to salvage a little bit of respect in the season, come up with a 10-6 record instead of the 11-5 or 12-4 we should have probably had. And then we got to go watch TV. And we got to hope that the mighty Eagles can take out the Dallas Cowboys out of spite, because that's exactly what it would be, spite. And that is not a position to be in. I'd love to give you a preview of what the Raiders have, and no discredit to the Raiders fans out there, because it's not meant as such, because actually the Raiders have been playing pretty decent ball the last couple of weeks, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But it doesn't matter who we play at this point. If our team cannot start playing like the Bucs of the early season, the Bucs of a team who want to make the playoffs, it doesn't matter if we were playing high school. The team that the way the team played last week against San Diego, even though we were in that game until that interception, did not deserve to win. That's the bottom line. We did not deserve to win. And if we continue to play that way, then by God, we deserve to be watching the playoffs on television. Now, as a Bucs fan, I hope that's not the case. I hope Jeff can pull it together. I know he got bashed right in the head on that one hit by Jammer, which was not a dirty hit, so stop crying if you're a Bucs fan. If Jeff continues not to slide, then by God, he's going to get hit. Coach Gruden in his press conference said maybe he should have taken Jeff out. The injury looked more severe than he thought it was. But, when you look at the replay, that pass was on target. It just hit Ike and bounced out. These things happen. Ike is usually a very reliable guy. That would have been a first down. The chains would have moved. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. If we continue to be incapable of establishing a running game, allowing teams to tee off on us in the pass rush, and then being incapable on defense of stopping anybody and generating turnovers, we're just going to lose. We're just going to lose the games. And that's going to suck after a tremendous opening to the season, a lot of hope, a lot of excitement, especially with the Super Bowl being here in Tampa. If by some stretch we're able to actually get into the playoffs, we handle business against the Raiders, and the Eagles handle business against the Cowboys, we're probably going to end up going to Arizona, which looks very beatable. God, they laid a big egg against New England. But we're going to end up going on the road, New York Giants style, to have a chance to come back home here and play for the Super Bowl. So, anyway, I am going to predict a victory this week against the Raiders. I do think my boys are going to come back. I still have faith. I expect a 23-14 victory for the Bucs against the Raiders, and I'm hoping that the Eagles can pull it out. I expect to see our boy Jeff Garcia bounce back strong this week and have a good game and lead his team to a victory as a leader should. On the defensive side of the ball, I do expect to see Barrett Ruud have a significant impact on this game, as well as Styles White, who I expect to see in the backfield of the Raiders most of the day. That's the review and the preview. Again, sorry for the Raiders fans. I don't mean to discredit you guys at all, but right now it doesn't matter what you got on your team. We're just playing like complete ass, and we've got to get our stuff straight. So, anyway, again, whatthebuck.net, Mondays and Thursday nights. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Thanks to everyone who has subscribed, and I'll see you guys next week.